Well, this wasn't in my bingo card. So I got some good news and the bad news. So Subaru announced the all-new WRX STI, the S210, only in the Japanese market. The bad news is, according to everybody making videos on the S210, it's just slightly disappointing because of the twist that they put in this new STI, making this comeback but with a twist that people are kind of feeling disappointing about. In my opinion, I'm a little disappointed in what the decision they made with this whole new generation STI. It's not something that lives up to the STI standards than the previous generation of the STI. But understanding before 2025, we have to understand what happened in 2022. So let's get started. Also, I'm Jamie Gears Automotive. Come here, subscribe to the channel if you guys are brand new, and let's get to the video. So, in March of 2022, Subaru announced that the WRX STI model would not receive a combustion successor, being the STI. They're going to discontinue the STI for good, and now only providing the WRX. But I've seen many videos and this whole redesign. In my opinion, I wasn't so fond over the new design of the WRX. I just think it was a little just lazy, a little bit of just kind of uninspired in the previous generation. It doesn't really give the homage it needed for the STI back in the previous generation. It's been going on for like 20 plus years. But seeing this new generation, it just wasn't disappointing. Now, fast forward about a year and a half or 2 years, I kind of was like, okay, most of these are being sold, and I see a lot of videos on these. They still have that same performance, the same transmission and everything, that 6-speed. It's just, the design grew on me. Yes, I can get away. I do not like the plastic cladding all over the place. Look, if there's some parts of like, okay, you can get rid of that cladding, and would I like it? Maybe. You can probably redo some of that backside, get rid of that extra cladding in the bottom. But the design did grow on me. But now let's fast forward to 2025. So during the Tokyo Auto Salon that happened a few days ago, a prototype of the Subaru WRX STI S210 was unveiled. It was supposed to pay homage to the previous generation of the STI, basically providing a better performance for its handling, but not for the atomic acceleration on a straight quarter mile. It boasts a track experience at local test tracks and test facilities. And while we're seeing a new engine design in the WRX ever since 2022, giving the FA 2.4 liter turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, making about 296 horsepower. And this is what people got disappointed about in this new generation, even including myself. I got disappointed when I found out that providing under 300 horsepower, 296 horsepower, 5,700 RPM, max torque of 277 pound-feet of torque at 2,000 RPM. It's slightly disappointing to see the numbers of it, how you compare it to a previous generation STI. See, in a previous generation STI, you see about 300 plus horsepower. You can modify them to go 400 or 500 horsepower or more. But what we're seeing, the reason why they wanted to do that, to kind of keep that horsepower down and kind of, now the twist is the transmission. No longer doing the 6-speed manual transmission in this new generation. They look at the consumers of no one's buying cars with a manual transmission. Nobody knows how to drive a manual transmission. They decided to go for this CVT transmission. And yes, CVTs have gotten a lot of hate over the past years, and I get it. See, CVTs are only practical for the Imprezas, the Crosstreks, the Foresters, the Outbacks, and all that stuff. But the Legacies too. But when you're looking for a performance sports car like the WRX or the STI, you want something that gives more horsepower in a 6-speed manual transmission, something that they've been known about for the past 20 years. And especially since 2022, eventually replacing the old EJ257 for 20 years. Since 2004, fun fact, that's my birthday, 2004. But ever since 2004, they used to have that EJ257 and all their generation of vehicles from 2004 all the way to 2021. Eventually making a replacement to the FA 2.4 liter turbocharged boxer engine. And eventually because due to carbon emissions, the reason why manufacturers made this decision due to carbon emission regulations. All this refreshed WRX can be bought in some markets like Canada. It lacks the significant STI label. But this changes by putting the CVT transmission to bring up the gas mileage. Because usually you see the WRX STIs usually about 22 miles to the gallon. And then you see most of the vehicles with the CVT with 30 miles to the gallon. They want to cut down on the carbon dioxide emission regulations. But especially with that, but it just does not fulfill what people want, especially in performance. It's good that I know what they're doing. They want to kind of cut down their carbon footprint. But when you're providing to an audience that wants something, a performance vehicle, you want something, keep the same engine but keep the transmission, but just kind of bring up the MPGs or something. But that's kind of my opinion. This basically in Tokyo Auto Salon unveiling, it's just disappointing that we have a CVT transmission and an STI. Only below 300 horsepower. It's just something disappointing to most fans that one have a quarter-mile track, 0 to 60, bring it on track to modify it as much they want. 500 horsepower. It's just disappointing to know that this is what we got as numbers. But the only positive side is this is only for the Japanese market, only making 500 units of these. So maybe in the next few years, if success, maybe if there's a success in the Japanese market, maybe in the next few years if they bump up the units, I would say giving the North American market the 6-speed manual transmission option for most of the trim levels, but keep the CVT as the premium TS model at the modern WRXs at dealerships you see. Because there's the base and you have the sport trims. The only thing that has the CVT is the premium, the TS model. That is the only one that has the CVT transmission, but keep that. But most of them keep them all as 6-speed manual transmissions. Same engine, same thing. And what you're seeing is the TR690 transmission. This is what comes in the 2.4 liter turbocharged flat 4 boxer 4 engine. The TR690. This is the only transmission that's going to come in because, like I said, a lot of people are not driving manual sticks anymore. And that's kind of what was going on. Also bringing down the carbon emissions, decreasing the carbon footprint. But at least it's disappointing to see this performance kind of just go down because it's just, it's just not what the STI comeback I'm looking for. And I'm pretty sure that you guys might feel this way too when you're seeing videos about this the S210. It just doesn't give like the S209 or the VA chassis or something like that. It just doesn't give the homage to the previous generation STI. But that's all in my opinion, and it's everyone else's opinion I've been seeing. But like I said, just realize that this is all my opinion about this disappointment of the S210. Will they ever bring something in the future that provides to enthusiasts who love, performance and high horsepower and do things that you can easily modify? said, this is all my opinions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below what's your opinions about the S210 and kind of my opinions about this video. And see you guys in the next video. I'll see you guys in the next video. This is Driven Gears Automotive signing off.